What could possibly force an entire organization to change its rules just to stop him? This is the intriguing power of Buakaw Banchamek, a fighter who rose from nowhere to become an unstoppable force in the world of Muay Thai. His story is not just about victories, but about extreme perseverance. From utter poverty to the world's biggest stages, Buakaw tore down barriers that seemed insurmountable. But what truly lies behind his overwhelming success? And the most unsettling question, why did the industry feel the need to limit him? Join us on a journey through controversies, unexpected achievements, and feats few believe were possible. Buakaw Banchamek was born as Sambat Banchamek in Surin, Thailand, around 1982. His family barely made enough to get by, and that hardship shaped his identity from a young age. At 8 years old, he began training in Muay Thai to help support his household. Anyone else might have hesitated, but for him, there was no choice. Every strike he threw was a step toward hope. He soon stood out in his community for his tireless dedication and surprising resilience against older opponents. At age 12, he left the comfort of home to join the Por Pramuk gym in Bangkok. There he adopted the name Buakaw, meaning White Lotus. This change wasn't just a nickname, it was a sign of his transformation. From that day on, every drop of sweat became an investment in his future. Surrounded by strict trainers and a competitive environment, the young fighter learned the fundamentals of traditional Muay Thai, the use of elbows, knee strikes, and a punishing clinch. His life revolved around training, sleeping, and training again, a Spartan routine that forged his character. While other kids his age went to school or played games, he dealt with bruises, early wake-ups, and ever-growing expectations. Nobody imagined that shy boy would become one of the most feared fighters on the planet, yet there was still a long road ahead. Some say his strength came from his rural roots and the tough fieldwork he grew up with. Others attribute it to an innate talent for reading an opponent's moves. Whatever the secret, Buakaw ascended like a prodigy in local tournaments, quickly garnering respect. But his aim went beyond Thailand. His real dream was to triumph on the international stage. What came next would be more intense than anyone could have predicted. When Buakaw ventured to compete in the K1 World Max in 2004, very few people outside Thailand had heard of him. That circuit was the pinnacle of kickboxing. Elite fighters, stricter rules than Muay Thai, and the pressure of a global audience. Fighters used to the traditional Muay Thai style often struggled under K1 regulations because the clinch was limited and elbows were prohibited. Yet Buakaw refused to believe these differences would hold him back. His first match in the tournament was against Jordan Tai, an aggressive New Zealander known for turning fights into all-out wars. From the first bell, Buakaw unleashed devastating low kicks that wrecked Tai's mobility and prevented him from imposing his boxing. The audience began to suspect that this Thai fighter was not the kind to fold under modified rules. Each successful strike from Buakaw seemed like a statement of power. The most defining moment came in the final against Masato, Japan's local hero and defending champion. Masato had lightning-fast hands and an unwavering fighting spirit, but Buakaw displayed the ferocity of Muay Thai. Ruthless knees and perfectly placed kicks that dismantled every part of the Japanese fighter's plan. The match ended in a unanimous decision favoring Buakaw, giving him his first K1 title and heralding a new era. Thanks to that victory, the worldwide reputation of both Thailand and Muay Thai soared, but not everyone was happy with his dominance. Over the next few years, Buakaw continued to win in K1 World Max, beating legendary opponents and collecting trophies time and time again. Each appearance guaranteed a show, leaving fans guessing if anyone could finally stop this machine of pinpoint accuracy. With each knockout and decisive victory, his legend only grew, and so did the doubts, the envy, and the perceived need to even the playing field. After repeated wins, K1 organizers introduced rule changes that directly affected Muay Thai-based fighters. They limited clinch time, prohibited consecutive knee strikes in close range, and enforced other measures that curbed infighting. The media asked, are they doing this to hold Buakaw back? While some defended the changes as a way to make events more dynamic and accessible to a global audience, others felt it was a desperate move. It wasn't far-fetched to think that watching a Thai competitor dominate the biggest names in kickboxing might have made certain promoters uneasy. Buakaw, however, remained unfazed. He kept training, certain that skill would always prevail. Despite the new restrictions, he kept racking up victories. His ring dominance continued to crush opponents who couldn't handle his explosive style. Suddenly, the conversation shifted toward a possible conspiracy against him. In forums and events, rumors circulated that he was being robbed by biased judging or questionable penalties. But Buakaw let his fists do the talking. Each perfectly timed kick only underscored the fact that no rule change could shut down his technical aggression. Still, his toughest test wouldn't come in the ring. It would come from those closest to him. In 2012, Buakaw faced one of the most painful blows of his life, and it didn't happen inside a ring. For years, he had proudly represented the Buakaw Banchamek gym, the very place that shaped his skill and honed his technique. Yet he discovered that the gym was taking 95% of his fight earnings. It was a shocking figure, especially for a superstar of his caliber. When he demanded transparency and fair treatment, he was met with threats and warnings of suspension. The scandal blew up. Media outlets speculated. Had Buakaw Banchamek been exploiting its star fighter? How long had Buakaw known? And how long had he put up with these injustices? The controversy grew until Thai sports authorities intervened. Armed with the same resolve he showed in the ring, Buakaw left Buakaw Banchamek and faced the legal uncertainties head-on. Many were shocked that the fighter was risking his career and possible sanctions from competition, but backing down from his own dignity was never an option. This confrontation brought about the birth of Banchamek Gym, his independent project where he controlled his career. He freed himself from the shadow that had followed him all of his life. The betrayal he experienced only made him stronger, lighting a new fire in him to keep fighting. Now free from attachments and in control of his own destiny, Buakaw entered a phase filled with spectacular matchups. He battled high-caliber opponents like Enrico Kell and Yi Long, nicknamed the Shaolin Monk, and fights brimming with intrigue and anticipation. Each encounter was a chance to measure just how well he could adapt to different rules and various promotions. In one controversial K1 World Max tournament, he faced Enrico Kell in the final. Many believed Buakaw had won the fight, but things ended oddly. The fight concluded in confusion, with Kell declared the winner by technicality after Buakaw left the ring. Fans cried foul, suspecting favoritism against the Thai fighter. It was yet another chapter in the ongoing tension surrounding his career. During this time, rumors of doping also surfaced. Some alleged that his unbelievable performances must have been enhanced by banned substances. However, no concrete evidence ever came to light, and the accusations eventually faded. Buakaw chose not to waste energy rebutting groundless claims. Instead, he kept forging ahead, facing challengers eager for fame. With every victory or knockout, he showed that his hunger for glory was nowhere near satisfied. Each triumph galvanized his fans' admiration and deepened the frustration of those who yearned to see him dethroned. Promoters found themselves in a dilemma. Buakaw's presence guaranteed huge audiences and profits, but he was also an almost unbeatable force that disrupted the competition's balance. Still, it made no difference how many restrictions or rumors piled up. His discipline and self-confidence drove him to the top. As Buakaw's name became synonymous with legend, special exhibition invitations started pouring in. One of the most talked about was his face-off with Saengchai, another Muay Thai icon known for an unpredictable style. Even though it was billed as an exhibition, it generated massive excitement. Fans could hardly believe these two giants would share the ring. In the end, the fight turned into a demonstration of technique and flair worthy of the sport's greatest tales. Meanwhile, whispers began about Buakaw crossing over into MMA. Several international promoters were interested in his star power, believing he would attract a huge audience. Nothing official ever materialized, and Buakaw remained focused on Muay Thai and kickboxing. Still, the possibility of seeing him in a cage sparked intense debate. Could he adapt to takedowns and ground fighting? From time to time, news of his retirement would surface. The media played it up, only for Buakaw to come forward and deny the rumors. Eventually, fans saw it as a kind of media game. "When I retire, you'll hear it from me," he said more than once. Rather than harming him, these rumors seemed to keep him firmly in the public eye. If anything was clear, it was that his determination to remain competitive was unwavering. Despite years at the top, Buakaw has never stopped training at an almost inhuman intensity. He has faced younger, hungrier fighters like Murian Tutu and Kota Miura, determined to dethrone him and claim their place in the Muay Thai pantheon. Time after time, Buakaw proved that experience, strategy, and fight IQ can outweigh raw, youthful explosiveness. In one of his most recent fights, he won so decisively that social media exploded with comments. Is there anyone who can dethrone Buakaw? The question remains unanswered. Whenever he steps into the ring, thousands of eyes watch, waiting to see if someone will finally topple this seemingly invincible warrior. Yet each frustrated contender only adds to his myth. The image of Buakaw as a fighter who has reigned over 2 generations of the sport. Of course, some say age will inevitably catch up with him. But every time that notion surfaces, Buakaw replies with a resounding knockout or a carefully executed victory. To many, he represents the peak of modern Muay Thai. He's not just fast and strong, but masterful at adapting to every style that confronts him. And when opponents think they've deciphered his patterns, he surprises them with a refined arsenal of new techniques. Today, Buakaw Banchamek is more than a Muay Thai fighter. He's a global brand. He has spurred the international growth of this martial art and inspired countless young athletes to don gloves for the first time. His legacy goes beyond his wins. He fundamentally changed the sport, even compelling organizations like K1 to revise their rules. By founding Banchamek Gym, he proved that a fighter can take control of his career and finances, paving the way for Thai fighters to demand fair contracts and transparent earnings. Furthermore, Buakaw has become a symbol of discipline and sacrifice. Many trainers worldwide cite his work ethic as a model for novices aspiring to greatness. Speculation abounds regarding Buakaw's future. Some anticipate more exhibitions against other legends, while others predict a final move to MMA. There's also chatter about retirement, or perhaps devoting himself to mentoring the next generation and expanding his gym empire internationally. Whatever path he chooses, his relevance is set in stone. Every step he takes, every decision he makes, becomes breaking news, reaffirming that Muay Thai remains alive and vibrant, largely thanks to him. Buakaw's story is a journey of persistence, courage, and constant evolution. From a child in Surin who feared hunger more than any opponent, to the superstar who redefined the rules of kickboxing and Muay Thai, his rise has been as dramatic as it is inspiring. Nothing could stop him. Not the betrayal by his own gym, not rule changes, not groundless accusations. Every obstacle fueled him to forge a legacy that transcends combat and speaks directly to the heart of fans. The sporting phenomenon didn't just elevate international competition levels. He showed the world the kind of inner strength that emerges when a person refuses to quit. His exploits illustrate that greatness is built through sweat, sacrifice, and a steadfast will to keep going, no matter the storm. Few fighters have left such a deep imprint on the industry, and it's almost certain that future generations will continue referring to Buakaw as the warrior who knew no limits. Does the story end here? Hardly. As long as Buakaw remains active, every fight will be another page in an epic saga. And when he finally does decide to hang up his gloves, his legacy will shine on, inspiring thousands of up-and-coming fighters, and reminding them that with the right mindset, any barrier can be broken. Are you ready for what's next? The story goes on, and it'll be just as riveting as ever.